Hey everybody, what's happening? Welcome to Programming with Swift. So today in this tutorial we are going to be learning how to do a header and footer for a table view. This is going to be pretty simple. There are two main ways to do it. We can either do it through the interface builder or we can do it in code. If we do it in code, well, we're going to be doing it in code, but with code there are two ways to do it as well. So we're going to start off with the interface builder and then we'll move on to the code stuff later. And yeah, so let's just get started. So the first thing that I want to do is add a table view to my view controller and just do some quick styling or some layout stuff there. The way to add a header or a footer is to just simply drag a view into the table view. And as you can see, when you get to close to the top, you will have that blue line with the two circles on the edge. And if we drag and drop this now, it'll become a header view. But what happens if you only want a footer view? So if you only wanted a footer view, we would need to add a prototype cell. And then when we drag and drop a view, we would be able to drag it to the top to make it a header view or below to make it a footer view. So for now, let's just drag it to the top since we've got no content. I am going to change the background color to blue. And then we can build and run. And then sweet. So we've got everything there. But let's add in a footer view. It's exactly the same basically. Just drag to the bottom, wait for that blue line to show up, and then you can drop it. And then let's just make a background color of green. Let's build and run that. And as we can see, we have our header and footer. But there's no content in this table view. So let's quickly just set that up so that we can easily see what is happening. So I'm just going to drag this table view over, call it table view, nothing special. I don't know why this is giving me so many issues. So now that we have our table view, we need to make sure that we are adopting our UITableView delegate, as well as our UITableView data source. And then once we have adopted it, let's just say self.tableview.delegate will equal self, because we want our view controller to be our delegate, and we also want our view controller to be our data source. Great. And then there are two methods that we need to implement just for basic setup, and that is number of rows in section. We've only got one section, so I'm just going to return 5. And then here we're going to have cell for row at index, path. This is not a way that I would suggest doing it, but for tutorial purposes, I think it's fine. So we're just going to say UITableView cell, create a new one, and then let's just set the text to be some content. As you can see there, our footer view and our header view is done. And that's pretty much how simple it is to add a header and a footer using Interface Builder. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and delete these headers and footers from Interface Builder. And then we can do it in code. So I am going to create one new method. And it's just going to be a private function which will return a view for us. So I'm going to actually make two. So we're going to have a header view function and we're going to have a footer view function. So I'm just going to say header view return UI view. And then we're just going to say let view equals UI view. We need to have frame. The width is going to be the same width as the table view. So we can just say frame.width, and then the height I'm just going to make this 50. And then I'm going to set a background color to this view to be, let's make it red. And then I'm just going to return this view. And pretty much going to do the exact same thing with the footer, except the footer, I'm going to make this green. Okay, cool. Let's update our function name so that we can call that footer view. And then everything should be good. If we just build that, it should be successful. Awesome. So what I'm going to do now is add it using the table header view property on the table view. The footer has got a table footer view property on the table view as well. So to add a header and a footer, all we need to do is say self.tableview.table header view equals self.header view. If we build and run that, we should see a red header view. And there we go. And then the next way to do it is just to say self.tableview.table footer view equals self.footer view. And now we should now have a green footer view. The last thing, or the last way to do it, is using the delegate methods on a table view. So there are 4 methods that we're going to have to implement here. So let's do the headers first. So I'm going to say height for header in section, and we're just going to return 50. So this will just literally be the height. So unfortunately, what happens with these delegate methods is that when we return this header cell or the header view, we've set a height to 50, but the delegate methods don't respect that. So we need to actually set a height that we want over here. And then to get the view in the header, all we have to do is say, I believe it's view for header in section. And then we can just say return self.header view. And if we build and run that, we should see a red header only. Just to prove that it is working, let's make this yellow. And there you go. So we've got a header view, and then let's do our footer view now. So I'm just going to say footer, height for footer, return, let's make this 100 just so that we can see that it is working. And then we're going to say view for footer in section, return self.footer view. If we build and run, oh no, let's stop that quickly and change the color to, does purple work? Sweet. Really easy to add a header view and a footer view to a table view. The benefit of this, or if you haven't noticed, is that as soon as we add a footer view, all the empty cells will disappear. And if you want to just get rid of the empty cells, you can return an empty footer view. So what we can do here, for example, would just be to make UI view. And then when we build and run that, there's no content at the bottom. So if you want to do that and just get rid of all these lines, you can just return an empty view or set it on the table for footer view, and that'll get rid of the lines. But other than that, that is how easy it is to set a table view header, footer through Interface Builder and code. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe and share with anybody who you think could benefit from this video. Thanks.